Are you on your way into Roll20, Richo?
I thought I was there, but yes.
You're so stealthy, you didn't even know you weren't here. Alrighty then. We shall start with a recap of last session. It's an interesting one. So, as we remember, Bryn had reached out to RX to possibly get a message back to certain individuals that she needed to check in on. Opting for the more personal route, RX set up a teleportation of some kind to get himself and Bryn in the same room as Valek, the person that she wanted to talk to. They did so and ended up amongst the midst of not only Valek, not only the generals from each of the districts, as well as some higher up military individuals, but the commander himself, all perplexed and surprised to see the two new arrivals randomly in the middle of, well, their war room, technically. Some quick movements and unwieldy spells from Valek separated Arix from Bryn for the time being, before Valek pounced on Bryn, running his dagger into her chest. As he was on top of her, they had a small convo, and after clearing the air with the rest of the room, he removed himself from atop Bryn and thawed Arix from his cryo prison. Bryn then regaled the commander and the rest of the generals in the room about her mission and what she has learned from so far. After this, the majority of them left with Valek hanging back to talk to him. He got some help from Arix about how he could shore up the room's defenses for magic. After some more conversation, Arix took them both back to the party aboard the Tiebreaker. There, the two divulged some of the information about what transpired, and they enjoyed the last day of their travels upon the waters as they made their way into the Emerald Quay. They got rooms back at the Lazy Pillow, their favorite spot, and spent the rest of their day waiting for nighttime to see if Bryn can get some chatting in with the two ladies of the Tackle's Respite. Nori, Bryn, and Richa were on the hunt for these women, but they clocked off early and went to the local dancing hall, Club Resilience. Unable to find the ladies inside, Bryn and Nori went back to their room, and with Richa unable to find another way in or see anything interesting come out of the side entrance, he made his way back to his nest, and the party enjoyed a long rest. And that's where we return. You guys wake up to the reminiscent smell of a full platter of different styles and types of food down, being prepared on the first floor in the uncomfortable waiting room of the Lazy Pillow. You guys, Saren and Kaporin end up Saren wakes up before everybody. Kaporin waking up next, and then the ladies, and then Racha, all in due time. But with the ladies and Racha creeping up around the midday time of finally waking up. But the morning has a clear sky about it, little nip of the in the wind, but overall seems a perfect day for sailing, a perfect day to get on with your adventure, and with that, the day is yours.
Are we all together? Or
Well, you two are in your bedroom. Kaporin is in the cart. Saren and Racha are in their room.
So it's just gonna get an earful of it.
He's up before me. It doesn't count.
Yeah, he's up like a good 4 hours before Racha.
Oh, damn. Well, Kaporan would start making his way back into town. Probably strapping up the one horse and just driving it slowly down the street to meet up with the gang at the hotel or hostel.
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn.
We at the hotel mo. Okay, go ahead.
Probably pulling up, and then Kaporan will come inside, waiting for everyone downstairs.
As soon as you walk inside, you are greeted with the disembodied voices asking you to partake in any of the delicacies that are on the first floor in a nice, large continental breakfast style situation. No other patrons are down here. currently at least. You see some of the dirty dishware and such on a couple different tables and such. So some people were down here, but no one seems to have taken their time.
Kaporin, loving the disembodied voices, will of course would help himself to any of the food there, asking as many questions as possible of what are these types of foods if he hasn't seen them before, did the pastries bake themselves, etc., and find himself sitting at a table talking to one of the disembodied voices.
All the foods are recognizable in some sense, maybe different meats from what you're used to, but all in all, pretty standard affair.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Saren, with you being one of the first up, is there anything you'd like to do?
Um, no, Saren will just mostly. He'll probably just get something to eat and kind of hang around for everyone else to gather.
Next up is the ladies.
I'm assuming we'd get ready, go down to get breakfast, see that Kaporan was down there at least. Not sure if Sarah went back up to his room or stayed to talk to the lovely disembodied voices.
Well, his room is your room.
No, he was with Richa technically, right?
Nope. Saren and Richard are together. He was supposed to join your guys' room. Remember, he was gonna force you guys to sleep in the same bed, but he didn't, so you guys got your own bed.
That's right.
Yeah, but well, Saren said he went down to get food, or I thought so. I wasn't sure if he would have stayed down there or not.
Well, for the most part, Saren and Kaporan, you guys have a good 2 to 3 hours before anybody else comes down.
Well, I did also say that I was just gonna wait for everyone else to gather because I don't really have anything to do. So I was just gonna wait down there for everyone.
Kapor-
I was just gonna say, Kaporan's down there, offhandedly talking to seemingly no one the entire time. Saren, you also get the nice disembodied voice that is asking you how your stay is. Is there anything they could do for you? It seems like you carry a lot of tension in your upper shoulders, things like that. Go ahead, Kaporan.
Oh no, yeah, Kaporin's just over there talking like just openly to anything. He's used to hearing voices in his head, so he's just having pleasant conversation with every disembodied voice he comes across.
You do hear, actually, Bryn, when Saren leaves his room. It kind of wakes you up momentarily. Excuse me, ma'am, but that room you wanted us to look in on is currently being opened.
Thank you. She'll pop her head out real quick just to see if she can see either Saren or Richa wandering down for breakfast or something.
Yeah, it'd be Saren.
He just looks like he's going down to breakfast, not going anywhere else, right?
I mean, he's got all his stuff with him, but he's not wearing a big sign on the back of his head that says, "Fuck you guys, I'm leaving."
Great. Nobody broke in.
You say that, but
He's also a big kid. He can take care of himself.
He's not bleeding.
So
The oldest of us.
she's gonna go back to bed. Right?
Sorry.
You're good. She's gonna go back and lay back down for the however much more time she has.
So eventually, unless Kapoor or Saren, you guys want to do anything in the few hours of waiting, then the ladies would eventually make their way down roughly just before midday.
Just grabbing food and trying to ignore the creepy voices.
Kaporin has nothing other than enjoying his conversation.
And then eventually Ratra. So with that, all of you are downstairs with Racha trying to catch up on eating.
I got this. Is there any fish?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of fish.
That's my go-to, like some sort of fish bacon.
They have fish sticks.
I'll take it. That's his breakfast.
Roger that. So, with a pocket full of fish sticks, Racha is ready to rock and roll.
I like that imagery right there.
Oh, that's definitely going to be a drawing.
Rachel with fish sticks in his pockets.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to hold us up. I just grab like two handfuls of them, and I'm eating them like French fries as we're walking down the street.
He's now the Napoleon Dynamite of fish sticks. Racha, give me some sticks. Nah, dude, get your own. All right, so what would you guys like to do? You guys are all fed and ready to go for the day.
Well, we need to let I don't even know what the heck to call them. Our friends here know if we're going to need to stay another night. I know I want to try to talk to Mira and Heather at the Tackle's Respite. I'm not sure what else anybody need. If you need anything to do anything.
I probably would have found this. How long have you been in town?
Less than a day.
Would I know if there's a magic shop in town?
Make a history check. As far as you know, the one other time that you may have been through this port town specifically, you do know there's a magical components shop, but it's been a while since you've been in here. You're not sure if there's like a magical items shop.
I'm gonna try and find that. Or actually, I'm gonna ask Bryn for like 30 trillium. And I'm gonna tell her that I need some more magical components. Hopefully before we leave town.
She's gonna give you 2 platinum.
That's 40 trillium.
I will take the 2 platinum.
What's our current plan?
Well, I need to go find that island. I know we need to find Richard's friend.
And then Saren's just gonna wander off looking for the magical component shop.
Racha will follow him stealthily. While eating fish sticks.
Editing the drawing request.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check. Saren, what's your passive?
Not that high, but I'm not hiding anything, so I'm not looking.
Roger that.
Gracious, I just want to keep an eye on it, that's all.
Yeah, I think it's like 14. Let me look.
Never split the party is one of his phrases.
14 indeed.
Do we notice a trail of breadcrumbs leading away from the building?
No, I don't even think Nori's passive is that high.
No.
Well, knowing that the bird ran off and how he usually doesn't get into too much trouble on his own, Kaporan's would be fine with it, but offering the girls like, Bryn, didn't you need to talk to those girls? Should we go see if we can slide in a moment with them now?
Slide in the DM.
Slide into those DMs like smooth. As he hops upon the cart, grabbing the reins, and is like, "Hop in, I'll take you."
I think we can just walk.
But I don't want to leave the cart anywhere. So Kaporin's been driving around town.
You've been it stands out so much. Just tie it up.
Disembodied voices.
You just said you were outside.
Oh right.
Talking to the other disembodied voices that are just naturally in his head.
Oh, okay. Split personality. Got it.
Yes. These other voices are telling me that I should go back inside and ask if I can leave the cart here.
Yes, you can.
Wonderful. Kaporin will tie up the horse to the nearest place he can tie it
Hitching
up.
post. Yes.
Nori has grown more worried for Kaparin's health.
Rightly so.
That's actually a good character development. I thought you guys would have already been like max worry for Kaporin's health.
You still managed to surprise me.
Kaporin's used to talking to all of these disembodied voices, and you guys are just like, oh, that's normal.
Yeah, Saren doesn't have the highest opinion of Kaporin's sanity.
But Saren, with your history check, you do remember where the shop is at, so going back to that magical component shop is easy enough to do.
Okay, and do they just sell components?
Going inside, go ahead and give me an investigation check. Looking around, it's a bit different from the last time that you were here. The majority of it is magical components, though you do see that off in the corner seems to be a couple of people that are working on something, so it's kind of become a workshop as well than just a magical component shop. In the glass case that is like basically the counter at which most business is done, you see there are a few items that rest inside the glass case. It looks like they have been worked on and enchanted at this shop specifically, and they're showing off what they have made so far.
That sounds oh so intriguing, but I'm broke. I'm going to just find. I need the components for unseen servants, so I'm gonna buy a piece of string and a wood because that's all it is.
Okay, I mean you can buy basic string and wood if you'd like. It is susceptible to being damaged and destroyed. It's just wood and string, or you can buy a magical version, which is just
How much
given.
is the magical version?
It's just given in like an enduring enchantment, so it doesn't get destroyed. For both items, it would be 1 trillium.
Okay, yeah, I'll just buy the magical versions and pay with. I think I have normal trillium money.
They can also take your platinum and transfer it into trillium if you want.
That's cool. I've got 3 trillium, so I'll just pay with the 1 trillium, and I'll pocket the 2 platinum.
Okay.
And if I'm just gonna ask because I doubt I can afford it. How much, like the general items under the counter are?
Okay. Looking at you, it's a decently put together, blue-skinned, green-haired individual that's the main proprietor that you're talking to. The people off in the corner, you've got one goblin that seems to be working on things, and across from him, kind of cloaked, but you can still kind of tell what's going on. It looks like possibly a halfling, maybe a skinnier dwarf, and they're currently working on an item. But the guy that you're talking to has some nice robes on. His hair, most of the blue-skinned people that you've seen, they just let their hair down, but this guy has it kind of pulled tight up into a bun with the sides kind of shaved. Oh, yes. Marvelous little inventions that we've got here. We're expanding our inventory and so taking requests if there's some possible enchantments or small things that you'd like done to certain already items that you may have in your possession. But currently here we've got and do 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 do.
Where are we again? We're at Emerald Quay, right? Key?
Yeah. So, underneath the glass, you see there's a few potion vials of different shapes, sizes, colors, and things inside. There is... One second. Where... Trying to find a list of stuff this guy has. Okay, so you've got it looks like a 6-sided dice, and it's resting there, made from a purple and like green stone, decently carved, and you're looking at it. He kind of points through the glass towards it, and he says, "This is the charlatan's die. Whenever you roll it, you can mentally tell it which side for it to roll. Decently lucrative if put in the right circumstances." Over here, we've got... Sorry, I've got his stuff mixed in with like 2 other stores. Crap.
No worries, I'm sure you're trying to navigate through 30,000 tabs right now. Take as long as you need.
Is your child there with him? I'm just out of curiosity.
Yeah, you snuck in. He saw you, but you snuck in.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna steal anything anyways. That's fine.
All right. You move on to the next item, which is an orb. He goes, wonderful little device that we've created. I haven't given it a name yet, but this orb, it's about 5 inches, weighs a few pounds. It's got these nice bronze rings which can be turned so that all of them line up. And when you align the notches together, it causes the orb to gong loudly until the vibrations misalign the notches once more. It's spaced about 6 seconds apart from one another, and it can be heard out to a range of 600 feet. This is good for setting up distractions or possibly trying to help a lost party member find their way back to you if they are not within sight. It's an interesting little device we've come up with here. Next, we've got... this pole that collapses. It's a 10-foot-long pole, but he pulls out this foot-long rod. You speak the command word, and then he says, what's the word? It's really tiny. Durai. And you see this foot-long rod expand out to a 10-foot pole. see, it weighs the same amount, and he like spins it around, and it like barely is missing hitting the floor and hitting the ceiling, because the ceilings here are 12 feet, so it's like not a lot of gap for it to move around, but he kind of spins it a couple times. And he says, wet, and it sinks back into the foot-long rod. But
Siren's giving very thoughtful nods as he's absorbing all this information.
But if you put this into a specific location, and he kind of walks over to the side of the counter, and between the counter and the wall, there's about like a 6-foot gap to walk in and out of, and he puts the foot-long rod in between with the ends pointing at the counter and at the wall. And he says, dry. And the rod expands to 6 feet, hitting the wall and hitting the counter, but not to the 10 feet. And then he pulls it out, and he spins it around at the 6-foot range, and then he says, wet, and it sinks back down to a foot long. So as you can see, it's going to extend to the maximum allowed space around it. And we're still working on some of the kinks, but soon we're going to be able to have it where you can hold your hand above one end, and only the other end will extend all the way down, so you can, if you didn't have a space of the exact size you wanted it to, you could at least, push your hands and make it as long or as short as you wanted. But a nifty little thing nonetheless. And then you see one item that seems to be separated between the other 3 items and this portion of the glass case. It's got its own other glass barrier separating the 2 of them, and you can see physically some runes that are painted on either sides of the 4 glass walls around it.
That looks incredibly dangerous.
Well, that one is a bit more expensive. I'm not sure exactly what your price range is like, but if you'd like to know more, I could tell you about it.
No, that's okay. It's probably best that we don't. Is that all the items in the shop?
Yeah, well, all the items that are in the case and sellable right now. Like I said, it's a magical component shop as well, so pretty much all the magical components that you might need that are common to uncommon are here.
Okay, I'm gonna look like I'm thinking it over, and you said I noticed Richaw come into the store?
You notice, no, the proprietor noticed him come in.
Okay.
He gets an advantage on anyone who comes through his door because that's where he's focused all his attention on.
Did he mention the price ranges to me at all? Or no?
Going back on them now. The orb is orb. The orb is 35 trillium. The rod is 60 trillium. And what was the first one? Where was the first one?
Charlatan's die.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the actual. There it is. The Charlatan's die is 120 trillium.
Okay. I think I should. These are all very, very creative items.
Thank you. We're trying to come up with a bit more of a different mindset in the items. A lot of places you can go and find weapons and things that incur great damage upon oneself, but when it comes to more utilitarian items, we try to think outside the box.
Plus, then you'll be the only one who can supply any demand.
Aha! And he taps his
Very
nose
smart.
and kind of points to you. We have a few more items that are currently in production, and they should be ready within the next 3 or so days. A couple of them, I'd have to say, are quite fantastic. But these are what we have available now. And we will be unveiling the next 3 items in, 3 days' time.
Well, I certainly look forward to that. I do, before I make any larger purchases, probably discuss it with my party that I travel with.
But of course. Bring more the merrier.
I will certainly attempt to sway them. I don't know if we'll be in town for 3 days, but all of these items certainly seem useful.
Yes, they are, especially in the right circumstances, and you would hate to be there without it. And you know what I always say? Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But please go talk with your compatriots, bring them back, have them enjoy the wonder of my shop. And if you all can come back for the nightly reveal of the other items, that would be fantastic. If not, please stop in when you do pass through, and you might be surprised at what we have to offer.
Indeed. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon, and I'll walk out of the store and attempt to meet up with the rest of the group.
You walk out of the store, and shortly thereafter, you got a little Racha behind you.
Racha actually, after he left, he'd have gone up and asked about that last one.
Okay, so you go up. Oh, yes, I saw you enter earlier. Is there anything that I can help you with?
What's that?
Oh, my dear boy. You interested in this item? As he kind of moves over to the ruined over section of the glass case.
And just nods his head.
This sun has come into my purview, and not but... Oh gosh, what has it been, Gregor? 2 weeks?
Yeah, boss, 2 weeks.
Right, 2 weeks. Just acquired it through a bit of trade. It is quite expensive, but if you are interested, I can give you a little sneak peek.
He just nods vigorously with eyes wide.
So you see the, he kind of waves his hand over the back glass, and the rune disappears. The glass kind of pops open, and he slides his hand in and he pulls it out. Pulls out a thick book, very heavy volume, and it's got really acrid smells kind of permeating off of it. There's multiple different colored metal fittings that kind of wrap around this book along the spine and the clasp that keeps it closed. And it's not just like, oh, one is copper, one is lead, one is iron. No, the metal fittings themselves are like in a transition between the different types of metals that hold this thing down. It's locked currently along the side. The metals kind of congruing together and forming its own natural lock. And he goes, "This tome right here. No one's been able to open it quite yet. But through manners of deduction and some of my more magically inclined compatriots have been able to tell me that this is a very interesting and special book. Not only itself holding certain spells, but the book itself having charges of some sort. I'm not exactly sure what it does. It has some decent magic that overtakes it and blocks from really being able to identify it unless it gets unlocked by the right wielder. But I've been told that this book is quite a must-have for certain individuals who find themselves of the wizarding persuasion.
Fascinating.
And as you're kind of sitting there and with your stronger nose than regular people, you're getting the hints of copper, iron, lead, silver, and gold.
And those are coming from the locks themselves, or like just
Well, the lock. So the metal that is on this book runs around the spine, runs along the book covers, and it's part of the book itself. But the metal seems to kind of snake its way off the cover and the front and back cover and kind of intertwine and create their own lock on the side. So the actual entirety of the book is giving off of this smell. This sun is an interesting find, and I would be able to price it at a more understandable rate if I was able to get it opened and, given it its due course. But since there is a bit of mystery behind it, this kind of deviates the pricing situation around it. Without knowing exactly what it does, I have to take into account it might be worse, it might be less. Might be worse, it might be better than what I can price it at, but it's a business, and I need to at least make some money off how much I bought it for. So if you are interested in it, this is going to run you 2,200 trillium.
His eyes just sort of shoot wide at that. He's like,
Like I said, I am not sure if it's going to be better or worse than the price would dictate, but that's the problem with mystery boxes. Some people call them loot caches. Sometimes you get screwed, sometimes you find something ridiculous.
he begins stroking his fake beard and considering it, and then looking over at the extendo pole that'll let him poke things from 10 feet away. And he's torn about it, and he's like,
Tell you what, I see you're interested in these items over here. If you do purchase this book, I will throw in 2 of those items for free.
he just sort of like nods. He's like, 2,000.
Make a persuasion check. I'm sorry, son. I do have to make some sort of profit, but I am giving you 2 items for free already, so take that into consideration. I mean, myself, I paid 2,000 for it, so I've got to make some money.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan. He will hand over the money for the tome, the charlatan's die, and the extendo rod.
All right. Go ahead and mark that down. So, just put down metallic book right now in your thing. The orb is called the Orb of Gonging. It's in the...
Wait, he gave me the gong too? I was doing the charlatan's die.
And the rod. Okay.
Rod,
Yeah, so charlatan's die, and the rod is called... I'll find it for you in a second. I closed
No
that
worries.
tab. I accidentally X'd it when I meant to minimize it, so I got to open it up and search for it again. But as far as the book goes, just put in metallic volume or metallic book or whatever you want. Once you unlock it, then you'll be able to find out what it is.
Sounds good.
Well, I hope it ends up being something fantastic and you make your money's worth. I will use this money to procure some more items, so feel free to come back and possibly spend your hard-earned cash at the Fifth Element once more. I appreciate your patronage, and you know what? For you, and he grabs the orb and he hands it to you. For being such a good patron, have this as well. And the orb is called the Orb of Gonging.
His eyes go wide. He's just like nods his head. He's like, "Thank you."
No, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
And he'll nod his head and go, "I'll let you know." And point at the book and go, "Bye. I love you."
Bye. I love you too. Have a good one. Alrighty then.
Well,
All of that is in the bag of holding.
Gotcha.
How far ahead am I of Rachala?
Probably a good few blocks by the time he gets done. Like 5-10 minutes of walking.
Okay, I'm gonna wait with the power of magic until right when he's getting there to try and explain to Bryn about all the cool magic items in the shop.
Okay. So, you find the group as they are mulling about the town, eventually coming across them. Bryn, Nori, and Kaporin, you guys see Saren as he kind of hurriedly is coming in your guys' direction.
Go ahead, Corin.
I'm imagining him as like a small child running after from a toy store. So, Kaporin's like, "Oh, there. Is there a fire somewhere?" Looking at Saren running down the walkway.
No fire. I actually just came from the magic shop from this town, and I figure I should let you all know that they had some rather interesting magical items there for sale. They're all very utility based. If as a group you all decide, or where's Ratra? We all decide that they would benefit us, and then I'll start explaining the 3 items that I was told about.
I heard roll 20 off. I had to go look. Well, those items certainly do sound amazing. You said they have an orb that causes a loud gonging noise? That's interesting.
Yeah, he said it made a noise in a range of 600 feet. It definitely seemed unique compared to most magic shops I've entered.
Well, it certainly sounds like we need to stop by there. But Bryn has I guess Kaporin will go. Bryn has a date with meeting the 2 girls. So I think we're heading over there first.
I feel like Kaporin just continues to make Bryn like pinch the bridge of her nose, going, oh, "Good God."
I feel like this has happened to Nori enough that she's grown a little bit numb to it, but I feel like at the beginning of us traveling together, that was her a lot.
So you're seeing a lot of similar emotions probably in Bryn then.
Exactly.
That's my joke.
Yeah, we were gonna head over to there. I don't know if they'll be able to talk with me right now, but hopefully we'll be able to set up a time to meet if they will allow it.
Did we? I'm guessing we already checked out of the hotel area. Inn.
Technically, yes.
Okay. I suppose I'll just go back since Kaporin said date and Saren doesn't actually know any better. I guess let's go back to wandering around
I
awkwardly.
specifically
after-
said they, so it's it's not more than probably one person. Just FYI.
Didn't Kaporin say? I think he said. I think he used Kaporin used plural anyway.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, Saren will just go back to wandering awkwardly until they're done, or until he runs into a Chaw.
Can I roll to perceive if Rachel is in our visit area?
Do it as well.
At this point, Rachel's just gonna show up when Rachel freaking wants to.
Yeah, you can, but Rashad gets to roll another stealth check. No one sees Richard.
Kaporin's down there scratching the back of his head. It's like, I swear I just heard him. Oh well.
He'll show up when he shows up.
Probably be at the most inconvenient time as well.
And scare the living daylights out of me.
Exactly.
Well, don't you have that date? Brent, as he, Kaporin like nudges you with his shoulder, and it's like, shall we be on our way then?
Bryn's just gonna tell Saren that where it is again, just in case he forgot from last night or whatever, if he wants to meet us over there.
Where's what?
Tackle's Respite. It's where we left the dock, basically, from the boat.
Okay.
We there.
Yeah, I guess I'll slowly wander my way in that direction.
All right. So, with the group heading towards the Tackle's Respite, you see that it's nowhere near as packed as it was the night before, but the blonde is currently working the back of the bar. The brunette is nowhere to be seen currently, and there's enough seats and enough space at the bar to approach at your leisure.
Oh, sure. Let's go up and approach Mira.
Oh, well, hi. Wasn't expecting to see you back so soon.
Yes. I was hoping to talk to you and Heather. I wanted to apologize and clear the air, I suppose, if you'll let me.
Of course. She was leaning on the bar a little bit towards you, kind of leans back, claps her hands twice. You see all the people who are sitting at the bar on either side of you immediately take their food and drinks, stand up, and walk away to different tables. So, we're alone now. Go ahead.
Last time we saw each other, I didn't expect that to happen. I think I was a bit caught off guard. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't what happened. So, I know we had a conversation about how our relationship needs to be symbiotic, and I was a bit abrupt with my answer. And so I wanted to apologize about that. Uh, uh, yeah, it's... I shouldn't have done that.
It's understandable, dear. I mean, if you really think about it, I don't think you came into contract with Barnabas wholly on your accord, is that correct?
Correct.
So it's understandable that maybe you weren't all too warm to the idea of possible fellows among Barnabas's employ that would be around, especially being this far south.
Yes, I just... Yeah, it wasn't very long after that contract was made, actually, that I met you, so I think... And you are still, I think, the only one I've met who has connections with him.
Oh, well, I completely doubt that I'm the only one that you met that has connections to him. I'm just the only one that said it. And we understand. And trust me, we do. You're not the first person to come across us that was in somewhat of the same situation and took a little bit more of a violent approach to, well, being approached the way we did. Hence, putting you in a situation in which you were outgunned would be probably the correct terminology. But we were told by Barnabas himself to, as he likes to put it, flex some muscle in your direction, letting you know that not only the amount of information that he knows of what you were doing and how you were going about it, but also that he's got his fingers in places and, well, you can be gotten to if he really needed to get to you.
Yes, that makes sense. I was hoping that we're okay then.
Well, from what I know, Mira knows a little bit more than I do, but from what I know, you may not have really learned your lesson too much from the first time we were talked about you. Though you didn't tell extra people, you still reiterated some of your point to those that already knew, so you're not in the best of graces, but you're also not in the worst.
I'm assuming all of us, me, Kapor,
You guys are there, but not with Bryn. You guys are probably all at a table.
I imagine we're off to the side, just kind of making sure everything's on the level.
Yeah.
got it. I whisper over to Nori. It's like, Nori, could you ask Bryn to ask about my father, please? Or maybe his whereabouts?
Can I look over and see? So they're still. Can I wait for a lull in the conversation and then mentally say that to Bryn?
Yeah.
Okay, I do that.
So, Bryn, before you can respond, you all of a sudden hear this voice in your head from Nori.
Bryn wants you to ask about his father, but do what you will.
She'll nod in response to Nori, but also with the information that she got. I understand I thought Mira was the one with the blonde hair.
Yeah, I might have got the names mixed up. The other one.
Okay. Gotcha. So she'll nod and say that to Mira. I definitely don't plan on telling anybody else, if that's a worry.
Let's just say it's counterproductive. Counterproductive to you staying as pretty as you are. That's what I mean.
I'll nod at that again. I don't know. I don't really want to mess with the guy or any of his compatriots that could, I guess, harm me or my friends, so. I know last time I asked about the pirates. Did we talk about them a little bit more if you have any information on anything?
Oh, them. Really hasn't been on the top of our to-do list, if you understand.
Of course. And I wouldn't expect it to have been.
I mean, we've got multiple businesses to run in this town alone. The only thing that I can tell you is that I know one of them, well, not one of them anymore, but one of them back in the day, who currently resides in Cydia, gave up the way of pirating. Lives somewhere down in the Jewel Rose clan lands, but past beyond that, I can't really tell you too much. We haven't really been dipping our toes into that pond.
What land was that again?
The Jewel Rose land, honey.
Sorry, I'm not quite familiar with all the clan lands down here.
It's quite alright. After some time, you'll get the hang of it. Has Barnabas reached out to you and given you any jobs yet?
Nothing that has been clear to me.
How about
I don't
this?
even know how he would.
Oh, trust me, you'll know when he does. I might have a job for you. Give me the day to contact him and make sure that he's okay with you taking a job directly from me. And if all works out and you come here for dinner and you see our lights out here, our lanterns, if our lanterns are turned purple, then you know that the job is on the table. And if you'd like to take said job, that table right over there, and she points to a table that's so where the bar is situated, it's on the corner of the street. You've got the street that is parallel to the docks, and then a street that goes in towards town. On the parallel to the docks side, at the far left or the far back, close to where the entrance into to get behind the bar is at, there's a small table with 2 chairs. It's got a reserved sign on it. If you see the lanterns on and you want to take a job, go ahead and sit down there tonight for dinner. Just you. Though your compatriots are more than happy to tag along and help you out. It's just a little something that maybe ease you into our little family here and might make a good favor and might put a little bit of a spur to the ass, if you understand, on us trying to find some more information for you.
Of course.
But as far as everything goes, you're in neutral territory under Barnabas right now. So, pushing your way into the good territory is always for the better.
Yeah, makes sense.
Now, if you don't mind, I've got a lunch rush coming here in the next 5 to 10 minutes that I need to prepare for.
Of course. Thank you, Mira.
Alright, Brain. Tell hello to your party over there. If I've got my names correct, we've got Nori, Kaporin, Richar, and the new fella, Saren, if memory serves correctly.
Impressive.
As she looks over, I press the gong button.
And as Richar aligns the notches on the outside of his orb from behind all of you, without him knowing you're there. You all jump at the cacophonous, loud gong sound that radiates from behind you. Remember, this thing's supposed to reach 600 feet out and is directly behind you all. I need everyone to give me con saves,
God damn it!
besides Bryn.
Oh wait, that's Dex. But Dex and Con are the same, so it's a 16.
So Nori and Rachel, you guys are fine, but Kaporin and Saren, you guys are deafened for the next minute.
I was just sort of fiddling with it behind them, and all of a sudden it went off in my hands. And so even if I'm not deafened, I sort of make the R2D2 noises after it, like wow.
Just like running back and forth with it up in the air.
I'll immediately turn it off though,
Okay.
so it doesn't ring again.
So all of you hear the ding behind you all.
And I,
Saren probably jumps out of his chair and then stumbles around until his hearing comes back.
Warren's just sitting there with his hands on his ears, cussing out.
We know this is from Rachel.
Well, yes, especially after the R2D2 noises.
I wouldn't
Rachel,
know. I'm
what
so
is
deaf.
that thing?
Even if I'm stumbling around, would I recognize the object that Racha?
Yeah.
At whatever point I see it, Saren's gonna look over and yell because his eardrums are burst.
Yep.
That's the super loud orb from the magic shop.
I just sort of like look down at it, and I'm like, I shouldn't have done that in Bryn's voice that she just said in the last conversation before we separated.
What did you say?
Bryn, I think that is your cue to leave.
Oh God, what did I do? Why? What am I getting myself into with this group, man? And at that, she'll just walk over there. Do they still? I mean, I guess it hasn't even been a minute yet. I guess Rachel has found a new toy.
Right now, it's starting to wear off.
As soon as it wears off, I'm out of the building.
Warren just makes a side remark, and you think I'm bad?
And I'll just hold it up and go, don't touch other people's manifestations.
That's... Yeah, Rachel, yeah. Yeah, maybe we test things away from town.
As the three people who are behind you that also got deafened from this situation are just kind of fuming looking at you guys.
Well, I'm going to walk outside the thing.
Warren just picks up the bird and walks out the door.
Bryn's gonna stop at their table. I'm so sorry for that. And she's gonna give them the 2 gold she has, just as a, God, I'm so sorry.
They kind of just, still pissed off looking, just nod and take the gold and just kind of still staring over at where Kaporin left with her shaw.
I imagine I'm over his shoulder and I pull out a fish stick out of my pocket and just start eating it.
Alright. So you guys all congregating again once more, slightly down the street from the open-air bar style of the Tackle's Respite.
As we're walking, I'm probably still like rubbing my ears, and Saren's gonna ask Racha, or he's gonna say to Racha, I see you found the magic shop in town.
You found the magic shop.
I guess you were following me there then.
Shrugs. 2 plus 2, I figured Wada.
Well, I suppose that saves us the trip then. I was telling the rest of the group about the 3 magic items at the counter, but if you already purchased them, I suppose. Purchased the orb. I suppose we're fine on that account.
Purchased. Cocks his head.
Did you steal it?
Shakes his head no.
That was gonna seem very out of character for you, and I was really concerned for a moment.
He might be a sneaky bird, but he's not a bad bird.
I figured as much. I'm just covering my bases.
Well, out of character, considering he bought the charlatan's dice. Maybe
No
one.
metagaming.
Don't incur the wrath of God.
I'm already deaf.
So, what would you guys like to do?
Bryn's just gonna lead the group back over to the lazy pillow. And on the way, she's like, just gonna just explain that we're gonna stay for another night. I don't know what you guys want to do for dinner, but I need to go back to the Tackle's Respite tonight to check on something.
Alrighty.
I've got some significantly less fun things to do, but I will need to do them in the room.
Cryptic fun.
Oh, Parent, do you have that really big book?
Warren reaches deep into his bag like Mary Poppins and pulls out the large book.
I take the large.
But in character, he would actually hand you the wrong book first.
I would look down at the cover, give you a really deadpan stare, hand it back, and make you get the other one. It's... Perrin, I'm not an idiot.
Oh, you asked for the big book, and I thought you wanted it. 1 second, as you reach back into the bag, it's like, here you go.
This massive tome compared to this little romance novel, I hand it back to you and take the tome. Thanks.
Warren just dies laughing on the floor.
Please get off the floor. We've already made a scene.
But, or rather, I do think I need a shower, so if I will join you upstairs if you wouldn't mind.
Laura will nod.
We're going back into the lazy pillow to request 2 rooms again, damn it.
6 trillium.
I got the 6 trillium, I'll put it in my hand.
It disappears like before.
And then I did have a question for the disembodied voice.
Yes.
Well, I suppose I have 2 questions. What should we call you?
Proprietors would be most suitable. Or you can call us the owners. We're fine with that too.
Thank you. And then second, is there a place that we could keep our horse and carriage for the night?
If you'd like to do us a storage fee for a horse and a carriage for the night, we can accommodate such requests. Overnight storage of said items would only cost you an extra trillium per night.
She will take out the trillium. That sounds wonderful. And we don't have to worry about it. Thank you.
We just ask that you take your horse and carriage around to the back side of the building and bring it into our cargo situation.
Understood. Will you or another owner meet me there?
The door will already be open for you when you arrive. Yes, just make sure that you unhitch your horse from the carriage.
Makes sense. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.
And then would it be the same 2 rooms that they give us?
Yeah.
Wonderful. She'll give the key back to Saren, and she'll take she'll take the other one.
Roger that. So, as far as moving the carriage and horse around, you guys pull it around to the back of the building. There is a large double door situation that gets opened up for you. You guys pull the carriage and horse in. All that's back here is a couple extra pieces of furniture and a few empty crates and a few closed crates. But you guys unhitch the horse, kind of sit there, not sure what to do. You hear the voice go,
You may leave now and close the door behind you.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
and you guys leave and close the door behind you. So, your horse and carriage are taken care of.
So weird.
It's just occurred to me, but they made us close the door and bring it back ourselves. So how the hell does everything get moved around here?
I'm just
Kind of best not to have money.
You get the sense of once it's on the premises, it can be moved around. If it's not on the premises, it's a different story.
Interesting.
place is just a little mystery that I'm afraid to figure out. And I don't know.
So, Nori, what would you like to do in your room?
So a while back, Coperin mentioned something in this big book about there being surnames, correct?
Yes.
I would like to look for some certain surnames that I received from Kazarak. Am I saying his name correctly?
Kazariak.
Kazariak. I would like to look for a certain set of names. Just to see if... I have it written down, I just couldn't pronounce it.
Gotcha.
Just to see if I can narrow it down even a teeny tiny little bit. Find a species.
Find a species.
So I'm looking for
Okay.
not yes, I can't say the rest. And then Jorn.
Okay. Let me just look at the list I sent you that day. So, who are you looking for?
I'm just kind of looking for. Searching through last names, and if one of their last names comes up, I'm going to essentially write that down.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
And I'm smart.
The smartest.
I'm very smart. I
Ooh.
find lots of things.
Looking through the book, none of the names reach out to you. I believe, do you even read? Yeah, you read Sylvan, so yeah, you could read these, but even then, none of the names match up.
It was worth a shot. And then I want to try to connect with my necklace again. I'm just gonna keep doing this.
All right, go ahead. What did I say it was last time?
Insight?
Yes, give me an insight check.
Yeah, rolling like junk today.
Yeah, unfortunately, sitting down with your necklace doesn't lead to any excess information or conversation.
Interesting. Well, that was my night.
Maybe you should just poke it like Rachel did.
At that, I pull out the extendo rod and I try and poke it with the extendo rod.
I'm gonna try to poke you with the extended rod.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity check. Nora, you just see Rachel kind of pull out this 1 foot long little rod. He kind of like turns it a little bit and then aims it at you.
What's...
And he says, wet. Oh no, he says dry. And all of a sudden the rod shoots out in your direction, poking you in the eye.
Ow! Rachel, what was that for? Why?
Am I in the room with them too?
I had figured we were probably in the room trying to figure out what the hell to do. So
Wait, you
Taking
bought
any
the
damage from this?
extending stick too?
You take 1 point
What
of
did you
bludgeoning
buy
damage.
from that shop?
I'm like, sorry. What was that, Saren?
Sarah would have said, you bought the, did he say a name? I'm just gonna say extendo stick too? Did you, how much did you buy from the shop, Richard?
I'll just say, bowl of collapsing in the guy's voice, and just shrug.
Kaporan kind of like as a overbearing, like a brother, just kind of go over to Nori and like, hold still real quick, and healing light the eye, just like, here you go.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to waste one on me. It's just 1 HP. I'll be fine.
He already did it.
It's just in character.
Yes, it's very sweet.
The eye is no longer starting to swell, but it is still a little tender.
I poked
Kind of looking at Rachel, just like, what are you trying to accomplish there?
Should you poke it like Racha from Bryn?
I meant her, not you.
I nod and I go, I missed.
You remember what happened with your sword? It got sucked in. I wouldn't want you to lose your nice new staff thing.
Poker. No. I just said I begin to write on the stick the poker.
I'll allow it. So, with it being just after midday, you guys have the rest of the day if you want to do anything.
Yeah, Saren's gonna leave.
Okay.
And he's gonna watch out behind him this time in case Richard does follow him. And I did say I'd go talk to him, or at least try and bring the group back. So I'm gonna head back to the magic shop.
All right.
And I'll go head into our room, and in my nest, since it's probably higher than his vision, I'll pull out the tome and start inspecting it to see if I can even attempt to begin picking the locks on it or not.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check, Richaw. Saren, you keeping an eye out behind you as you travel towards the Fifth Element, which is the name of the store. You don't see any feathered fiendish friends following you. Yeah, that's a bunch of Fs. But you guys, you're seemingly alone and traveling into the store. You're welcomed by the same individual with the same two off working on something else. As far as you, Richa, go, I will message you what you find or what you figure out.
Sounds good.
Back again so soon. Starting to make this a constant thing. I love it. We should probably put out some loyalty cards or something. But what can I help you with?
Well, I did say that I would attempt to bring the rest of my party back, but it seems one of my party members, and I'll put a hand right where Chaw's height is. A Kenku about this tall must have beat me to the punch, and I'll look at the case and take note of what's missing.
Well, all you can see is the 3 items that were in the glass case. Those are all gone. The other side of the glass was all covered in runes, so you can't see it. It still has the runes on it, but...
Well, I take note that he has the dice too, then. And,
oh, yes, your friend was a very generous soul, and took all the items here a little bit after you had left, and good to know that you have excellent company among yourself.
Of course. I did want to come by before closing tonight and say I don't know how long we'll be in town, but if we are still in town for your next reveal, I will certainly come by.
Well, yes, please do. On the 3rd day, so 3 days from today at night around sunset, we are going to be having a small little after-hours sort of ceremony when we unveil our next 3 items. We're also going to try and see if we can get the 3 that we have just sold to your friend reconstituted and into more items, so hopefully we can have all being shown again, but yes, please do.
Of course, and I would hate to take up too much of your time today, so I won't stay very long, but I appreciate your propensity for creating creative magical items.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, we try to fill a different role than other, well, pretty much all the other magical item shops out there. So we try to make certain unique items that can be used not only on the everyday, but also in special circumstances if the mind is creative enough.
Of course. As I said, I don't know if we'll still be in town in 3 days, but if not, next time we arrive here, I'll definitely make sure to check back in.
Please do, and hopefully you guys are all around when we unveil our new things. But if not, we understand. We appreciate your patronage already, and hope to see you back again soon.
I hope to see you again soon as well, and I'll head out the door.
With a small bow, that follows you as you leave. You exit, and are now back out in the town once more.
After that stop, I have nothing else to do, so I'll head back to the store, or head back to the inn.
All right. Go ahead.
Sorry, you said it's like probably like a little bit.
1 to 2.
Okay. Since he knows that Bryn's gonna head to the docks by herself to go get whatever, Kaporan does want to make note that he's gonna leave later on to go to this dancing club. He wants to go check that out. So he's getting cleaned up and ready to go for that.
You do not know about the dancing club.
Oh, okay. Uh, well, he'll ask Bryn to teach him the dice game, if anything.
Another thing you don't know about.
Yeah, we don't know this.
I thought you knew it. Oh, okay. I thought I knew about the dice game, but I could be wrong.
Nope, that was
I
just
don't
with Shaw and
much.
Bryn. They were in the skipper's house when they learned that game.
There goes Kaporin's plans.
Everything just falling apart. If you guys ever talk amongst each other about what you guys did when you all split up, you might possibly know these things, but no one ever does.
That probably does not sound like our group, so I don't know what you're talking about, Val.
Definitely not.
Well, then Kaporin's doing makeup for the rest of the night. On
You also
the
have a
dock.
large book, too.
Yeah. I'd be. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Kaporin would probably ask Nori why did she need the book, and kind of offer his assistance if she was looking for something in particular.
Let me see. Did Bryn share? No, she wouldn't have shared it with us. Like everything, like how the Barnabas people know all our names, all that fun stuff.
Nope. Like I said,
I don't know.
no one
Know
ever
each
likes
other's
talking to each
Great.
other.
And she's definitely not telling you guys that. She's in ignorance is bliss right now for you guys.
I'm just going to start pulling people into the one-on-one conversations.
Constantly. It's not a party. We're all just individuals traveling with each other.
Pretty much.
Before I get back to the inn, since I totally forgot about them, are my snake scales still good, or have they gone bad? Because you said a week, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're trash now.
Okay, I'm gonna throw them out somewhere.
Easy enough to do.
And then I head back to the tavern.
Yeah, because it was a 4-day trip on the ocean alone.
Yeah, I figured. Oh well.
Oh, well.
So, how long are we staying here?
Well, it kind of depends on what happens tonight. When I was talking to Mira, she said they might have a job for me, and it might be a better choice to take it.
A job?
For, you know.
Ah, alright. Well, I suggest staying safe.
Definitely, and that's why I need to go back there tonight. There's a signal. She did say that you are all welcome to join me, but just not for either accepting the job, I guess.
Feel like that would be smart?
So I guess it just depends on what that is and where it's at. Though she did tell me of a potential lead for pirate information, so that was nice.
What did you find out, or is she going to share this information with you tonight?
No, she said that one of the pirates from back in the day, God knows how long ago, gave up pirating and now lives down in Jewel Rose clan lands. God knows where those are. I don't have any idea. Obviously south of here, but I don't know how far. And I have no other information yet about him.
Can you ask for a city? Because if I know the name, I can find it.
Potentially. It kind of felt like it's all I was going to get until something else was done.
Well, keep that in mind, I guess.
It's also why I didn't ask about Kaporan's dad. It seemed like the wrong time.
I figured as much. Sorry, Karen.
It's quite all right. May I have my book back?
Yes, I hand it back to him. I may look through it later or for some help because I'm afraid I'm not great with books.
Well, I've certainly dug into this book for quite a while now, and let me know if is there anything I can point out for you.
Thank you.
From there, Kaporan's just gonna sit on the other bed and sit back and read his book, since he has no plans for tonight.
Oh, I think... Alright. I think I want to go and try to find an herbalism kit and just go to... Is a plant shop, for lack of a better term?
An apothecary?
That's the one.
Plant shop. You're silly.
I haven't gotten much sleep lately, forgive me.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'm rolling like trash today, jeez. Not Nori's day.
I would say just before sunset, you eventually find an apothecary.
I think I would have definitely asked Bryn for some money beforehand. Because I wouldn't have just walked out with the intent to buy something with no cash.
She is currently AFK, but she said she would give you whatever money you asked for.
All of it.
Yeah, just take all of it because I'm definitely the biggest spender here.
Y'all don't even know who the biggest spender is.
Okay, so you
Bryn's got a
eventually
bit of
find the apothecary shop. It's called the Hidden Sandman.
Interesting. Alright, I go inside.
Slightly older looking. You can't place it. So he's got the beard and thickness of a dwarf, but the height of halfling. So you're not 100% sure what he is, but he's got some gray to all of his colors, and he's got pointy ears, almost like an elf. Not long, half elfish type of pointy, but interesting individual all around.
Colorful family tree.
Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for an herbalism kit.
Herbalism kit. Oh, haven't sold one of them in quite a while. Let me see if I've got any fresh ones.
Thank you.
He kind of does a little bit of a waddle walk as he comes out, and he's looking through some of the lower cabinets. And you see the shelves inside this shop. There are certain things on shelves that are higher up, but a lot of it seems to be around the 4-foot range. So he's looking through some of the shorter shelves.
Oi, I've got a couple right here that seem to be mighty fresh. How many would you like?
How many do you think would be useful? If I may ask.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to use. I usually tell people that if you're using a kit to make something of the poison variety or something that's very caustic or acidic, you want to have a separate kit for that, as well as having a kit to make some potions or some of your more basic things, or trying to create your more commonly used items. And then you also want a kit separated from all three of those for trying to figure out the the properties of certain things you might find out in the wild. So, if you're going out and picking certain mushrooms or possibly picking certain types of plants and seeing what kind of properties or things you can make them into, that is, you usually want to keep that kit away from the kits of stuff that you know work. You hate to have residual residue on something and then accidentally poison yourself.
Ori has vivid flashbacks to eating the wrong mushrooms up in the mountains and almost dying, and she just goes, "Yeah, I'll take two."
Oh, perfect. Okay, 2 herbalism kits. Da, da, da. Well, if you're buying them together, then I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of a group discount. Altogether, that's going to be 16 trillium.
I would hand that over.
And you've got yourself 2 herbalism kits.
Sweet.
Now, if I was you, make sure that you mark which kit does which, so that way you don't get them mixed up and you don't put the wrong things back in the wrong kits.
That's very smart advice.
Trust me, been there, done that. You don't want to be the one that's doing it.
Nori will laugh, thank him, and then go back to the place, I guess.
All right. So as we're creeping upon the dusk hour, there's still an hour to half hour left of daylight before the sun sets.
Did the point reading anything new in this book?
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Sorry, 1 second. Roll 20 is not.
We see it.
While that's happening, are we still all in the same room for the most part?
Well, people are going in and out at different times.
At some point, Saren's going to ritual cast Lingering Unseen Servant. And he's just going to fuck with it and try and think of new ways to use it, even though Eric's kind of did that already. And at some point, while Capone's reading the book, out of boredom, Saren's just going to send the servant over there. And every, however long it usually takes Capone to read it, he's going to have this unseen servant flip the page for him.
Kaporin may start panicking why his pages start flipping, but then again, we're in a hotel full of disembodied voices, so it probably doesn't seem out of place.
It's not the craziest thing that's happened to you.
Yeah, I'll just be staring in front of me. It's like, okay. I mean, this works, I guess.
Pacha, having been on the sea for so long and never actually exclaiming it, we'll go take a bath if the disembodied voices tell him where the bath is.
Yep. Going to the subterranean level of the Lazy Pillow, you are greeted with it's communal baths, but currently no one's down here. After being down here for about 5 minutes, you understand why, because the disembodied voices also follow you down here.
I don't think Pacha's very eeried out by them, so he's just gonna chill and do his little bird bath flapping or whatever they do in a bird bath.
Just kind of dunking themselves continuously in the water.
Exactly, just letting the water get all the way in my feathers and stuff.
Well, if you actually request that specifically, by the time you go down there, there is, instead of the deep pools that are usually there for most people, there is a smaller, shallower pool for bird bathing.
Wonderful. He's gonna play in it for at least an hour.
Roger that.
Wasn't this the hotel that had working showers too?
Yeah, but he wanted a bath.
I just want to make sure this is the right hotel I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Nori would shower as well.
As you come out of the shower, you realize, oh yeah, the almost entire party is still in this room.
It's fine.
So with that, dusk finally approaches, sunset happens, and the last blues fade from the sky, morphing into gold, orange, and purples.
Go ahead.
Well, Bryn, don't you have a date with Destiny?
I should not let you go ahead first.
That's why I hear my voice.
I suppose, yeah, could go. Do you guys want to go there for your dinner as well?
I could always use a good taco.
At some point, Darren's probably just moved to reading his spellbook and having the servant turn the pages for him, and he'll kind of like just say in a uninterested manner. Sure, I don't see why not.
Richa, after having come back with a full pressed suit of clothing and everything, because he probably would have asked the disembodied voices to clean that as well, looks all spick and span and just nods and says, "Let's go."
Pretty bird.
So with that, the group finally disembarking from their rooms, moving down the streets towards the Tackle's Respites, finally arriving. It is decently busy here. There is a small band that has started to play music, and overall the environment is jubilant. When you get there, Bryn, you do see that the lanterns outside have been dimmed to a soft pale purple color.
Alright. I have a specific table I have to go to. You guys go find the group, and I'll meet you when I can.
Lori will nod.
Quan will look for like the closest table to where she's going to be sitting next to them.
The closest table to fit all of you at. It's within eyesight, but it's decently far away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anything we can use our instant text message. So
Just at least 30 feet away.
I was gonna say you're gonna be roughly like 50 to 60 feet away.
Dear, then never mind. I can't do that.
yeah. Oh well. We'll wave hi and we'll wave hi when we see her.
So, Bryn, you go to the table.
Yep.
All right. So you go down to the table that still has the reserved sign on it and sit down. Sitting there, waiting and waiting. You sit there and wait about 10 minutes, and you're starting to think, how long am I supposed to wait? Before a cloaked figure stands in front of you. He stands awkwardly at the side of the table for a moment, and you're kind of staring at him. As you're about to move or say something, he quickly takes the seat across from you. His face obscured by shadow with the lights being behind, so you can't get a good look. All you can tell is that he's got pale skin from his hands. And he talks to you in a loud enough voice to hear, but a low enough voice that you need to kind of lean in to really hear what he's saying. So I've heard you're ready for a job.
She'll nod.
Our employer likes success, so do you think you're up for this job? We'd hate for you to start out with a negative ticket in your book.
Well, I don't know what it is, but if
Do you feel confident in your abilities to get things done?
yes,
Alright, that's all I need to hear.
He sides you a piece of paper.
Look at that when I'm gone. But your job tonight is to go to the Grim Genie and follow the rest of the details written on that piece of paper. Don't be caught, don't be seen, and if someone gets in your way, well, make them not in your way anymore.
And with that, he stands up quickly from his chair and walks away.
so he's gone.
Yep. You kind of spin around to try and follow him, but he's gone into the darkness of the night.
Did we watch him? Did we leave?
None of you guys have a high enough perception to have seen him arrive.
Gotcha.
Let's see, left. She'll look at the paper now.
Written on the piece of paper, tiny writing, and the paper itself only being about 3 inches long and about an inch and a half wide. On the piece of paper, it says, Grim Genie, find the safe. Take the diamonds. Burn the room. And that's it. As soon as you kind of read it over and read it a second time, the paper starts to get really hot. Uncomfortable to touch.
What's the table made out of? She doesn't want it to burn if it's gonna.
The table's
down.
made out of a solid wood. It's getting almost unbearable.
She's just gonna drop it.
As you drop it, before it even makes contact with the table, it ignites and disintegrates in but a moment. After that happens, you see the lanterns slowly revert back to their more orange, natural glow. The jubilance of the crowd sort of invigorates with the brightening of the light, and the band starts to play their music ever so louder. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh god.
Dear Lord.
Was it the Grim Genie or the Green Genie?
The Grim Genie, like the Grim Reaper?
And that was also on the note, correct?
Correct.
Do any of us? I'm not gonna ask because we wouldn't know anyway.
Is the Grim Reaper a Grim Genie? Are we about to steal?
Did you,
Don't tell me that.
Bryn, did you get all the stuff down, or do you want me to say it again?
Grim Genie, find the safe, take diamonds, burn the room.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Hey, you've got your first side quest, guys.
Yay, side quests.
It only took us.
From who knows this guy.
The ultimate side quest
So
giver.
sketchy.
Yay.
You guys always complain about
will
not having
say-
money and not being given side quests. Here you go.
If if I had seen him leave, I was about to minor illusion a cut out cardboard image of myself at the table with everybody and sneak off after him.
No, he's much sneakier than you.
I would just like to thank my internet for waiting till the end of the stream to finally crash.
You know what? It listened, and it just wanted to give you a little something. Merry Christmas. It won't happen again.
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Man. Y'all should have seen my face when Racha pulled out his deep pockets of money.
I had to take off my glasses because I fogged them up from how hard I was laughing.
I was really confused. It's like, wait a minute. He got money earlier. He got money then. Where the hell all this come from?
And this is why I start to do things solo. So expect more solo stuff to start happening.
Would it be too meta to ask if the quest Bryn just got, is that like a solo or group thing?
As Bryn stated, you guys are allowed to bring her compatriots along.
Cool.
Great, because I passed without trace stocked.
Oh yeah, she knows her stealthy ass ain't gonna get to be stealthy.
Well, my plan, because I wasn't sure, was I was just gonna cast invisibility on you and walk away.
Have fun! So, any questions for tonight, guys?
What the fuck did I get myself into?
Well, I mean, you've been in it technically for a while. It's just finally coming to collect.
Yeah, I know.
Anybody else?
No.
I have one, but I will ask you later.
All right.
Is my book gonna bring anything else to fruition, or I guess that's a broad question to ask, but
Yeah, I was
should
gonna
continue
say.
reading this book.
I told you it's a long ass book. It's dry as hell to read, and even then, it's not like it's written as a book to read. It's a bunch of numbers. It's a bunch of offhanded notes. I mean, there's even scrawling in like the sides of the pages. So I mean, it's not like, oh, a 100-page book. Let me read 10 pages a day. No, this is like trying to figure out what they're trying to say. A lot of it is shorthand and notes and offhanded remarks and things like that. It's a very difficult book to get through.
Got it. But does Caporn at least I at least remember what I learned, right? I'm not gonna be just like, oh, I don't remember that.
As long as you write it down. Keep
Yeah.
notes of what I tell you. Because there's sometimes I give you guys notes on things, or like I give you guys some certain information, and then I delete it from my end of things. So
Yeah, I don't think I learned anything in this book that important besides its history of Artemir and the other lands and stuff.
yeah, I think I gave you one little bit of information really from so far and then, but that's about it. I think like old names to certain something. I don't remember. So yeah, so if you guys
Yeah,
are
that's
getting some information from me, especially through checks, if I'm making you do a check and getting some certain information, probably enough information to write it down. Because if it gets deleted from my side of things, I'll be like, do you remember? Because I don't have it.
I'm gonna need a new notebook soon.
I've
I have-
easily gone through half the book.
I have like 4 notebooks sitting in my Amazon cart for as soon as my current one starts to fill up.
Also, as far as the streaming with cams go, I am literally waiting for my desk to get in. It is stuck in Rialto, California for like the last 4 days now. I guess that is the main hub of the West Coast, and they're just backed up. So I'm sort of just waiting for that before we start the cam thing. So whenever that decides to finally make its way here, it was supposed to be here on the 5th. we can move on from there. But until then, I'm sorry.
Great, I'm gonna have to stop crying before session then. Cool.
You can cry on session, it's fine.
No, before session.
Oh, cry during, before, after, it's fine. It's all good.
You'll get
It definitely happens all the fucking time, so.
Also, as a minor Christmas present for all of you, I would like everyone to message me separately, giving me colors, 3 colors, in which, for each of your characters, that you would like a set of dice made.
Oh, thank you.
sweet.
So,
No worries.
send me those colors. I will. I've almost caught up on all my orders now, so I can start messing around with making some specific things, and I'll be sending you guys pictures of how they're coming out. And once everything is decided and good to go, you guys will all get a set for Christmas, as well as I'll put them up on the shop as monikers for each one of your characters. So once it gets done, you guys can come up with some sort of name, like Bryn's Gleaming Armor, or Rachaw's Whip Crack. Something, I'll let you guys come up with the name of it.
This is cool. Thank you, Val.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging here with me.
For sure. Thanks, man.
All right, guys. So, with that, if you have any questions, feel free to message me, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If I don't talk to you before then, you all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you on Monday.
Night.
Night.
Bye. Good night.
Night, everybody.
And thank you all for those that stayed with us tonight. Have a great one.